Hey, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Real Estate Chalk Talk. We're broadcasting from the Rack Shack Barbecue Studio. I'm Keith Hittner Sr. here in the studio with Keith Hittner Jr., and you can reach us at 612-627-8000 or go to realestatechalktalk.com. Kelvin Kaemingk is here with us. He's going to get on with some mortgage deals and what's going on in that world. If you want to call Kelvin directly, his number is 651-231-2500. Just finished up last segment with Mike Sadness with Wow One Day Painting. Glad to have him on the program.
He's a good vendor.
He's a good vendor, and we really appreciate the work that he does for us. Next hour, we're going to have Katie from Crescent Cove is going to be in. We're going to be talking about something a little bit more serious, but it's a really great topic, a nonprofit that we want to share with you. And let me see, where are we going to go to here? Got some questions?
Well, we got some questions that we didn't get to in the first segment because we were out of time.
I get it.
So now we're going to hit those questions right now. So wanted to ask both of you, first off, just reflections of the 2015 real estate market. So go from January. I'm sure you'll ask me the same question back. But tell me first, real estate market-wise, 2015, go.
Real estate market in 2015 was very, very strong in our metro area. We probably saw 5-ish, 6% appreciation over that period of time. Actually, that's a little bit less than what the national average was for our country. I don't have the actual stats in front of me, but that's what I gather. It was great for our team. Our group did very well. Had a very good year with our team. Our core agents that are doing a bulk of the transactions and managing with us a lot of the lead activity. We're busy every day.
And what does that mean? Like a good year is, how many transactions did your team close this last year? Because I don't think people really have perspective of what that, oh yeah, they probably sold 4 or 5 homes this year.
This year we did over 200 transactions and over 50 million in volume. So on an average, you might see a real estate agent doing 1 to 3 deals a year, where our team is pulling up quite a few transactions. And we have our hands in most of those, either helping out in inspection processes, contract negotiations, problems with the files. So depending on where an agent is in their level of experience, we'll be helping them through those transactions, make sure that the client is served well, and that they can always know that their transaction is being handled by the best experience we feel in the market, frankly.
Well, our team is structured differently than a lot of teams. A lot of teams are just about numbers, so they have a lot of members, a lot of people. Each individual member, does, some do none.
Right. But it looks good for the picture on the website.
It looks good on the website and whatnot. And if you've got 100 people on your team and everybody does 3 deals, which is a national average, all of a sudden you've got, that's a lot of transactions, 300 transactions. But what we like to do is have a smaller group of people. We want all of the people who are on our squad to be successful financially, and also in order to provide that good level of service to the customer, you need to have the ability to have done a lot of business. This is a business and industry that you learn how to negotiate by negotiating. If you don't do it but once a year, it gets pretty hard.
Well, it's one of the things that it's easy for us to see on the financing side when we're working with other real estate agents outside of the Hittner Group. You know so quickly what their level of experience is, and you just kind of go, oh my gosh, do they not realize? And the reality is, no, they don't.
They don't realize.
No, they don't realize, because they're not doing transactions.
The realtor,
the real estate agent.
The client too. I mean,
you feel bad for the client because you're kind of going, oh man, did you think about this or this? And
Well, it's even it's that, and then the other thing I find, especially with the inexperienced agents, is they get bogged down in minutia detail that is not relevant really to the bigger picture, and so you can get your client then gets all twisted up over this.
Something that's not typical.
Something that's not important to you, and it isn't going to impact their life one iota a week from now, and you've got a real estate agent making a big deal out of it, and it makes it difficult to just kind of get through. You wind up having to educate the other side.
It was a fun year overall. I think it was a really fun year. We saw increases. We're having great conversations with sellers, which is very refreshing over the last boy, I'd say 3 to 4 years, we've been having better conversations as values have increased. During the market downturn, we got really good at delivering bad news. So it makes it a lot easier to walk into a seller's home now and discuss the market. And that's much more of a fun conversation to have than what we've had over the past few years. And same with buyers. Even though they're in a challenging market, buyers are, in that inventory is lower significantly than what we saw when the market was turned down. Values are increasing, which hurts overall affordability of properties right now. Housing is still very affordable, even with the increase, because of not because of you, but because of the interest rates.
Thank you. It's because of me.
It's all because of you, Kelvin. Our interest rates remain low, so that's phenomenal, and it keeps our affordability numbers at a very affordable range, where people are making twice as much money to afford the median sales price house in the metro area. Phenomenal. You know, that's a very good environment for buyers to be in, even with the increase in values, even with the lack of inventory. It makes it challenging. You have to be a little creative sometimes, knock on some doors for some people, or mail out some letters to connect with some homeowners that might be willing to sell for your client. But it's still a fun environment to be doing real estate transactions and helping people through those big real estate transactions.
Senior, what's your thought? In 15, you're kind of the godfather of the team. And,
well, I just look back and reflect. I look at the numbers because I'm a bean counter, so I love looking at the numbers and the metrics of where things are coming from, and that helps us prepare our marketing plan for the following 3 or 4 years of where it's going from. It's amazing to me how fast the pendulum has swung from when I first started in the industry, where I had a pager and nobody else did, and then we started getting faxes.
That bat phone.
We got exactly the big great bag, and then pretty soon we had flip phones, and then we had fax machines with curly paper that was photocopied, and now everything.
The technology.
The technology is amazing, and it's, instead of shuffling paper, you're shuffling PDF files. You're still shuffling. The number of pages in a purchase agreement has also exponentially increased.
And people read less.
And people read much less.
Because there's so much more.
Right.
Yes.
If you look at, just speaking of the paperwork real quick, if you look at a HUD contract, it's 2 pages. 2 pages. A HUD purchase contract is 2 pages long. And our real estate transaction is 8 pages for the PA. And then you have addendums upon addendums. A typical purchase agreement is between 13 and 15 pages, not including disclosures. And
by the time you got your disclosures, and then if it's a townhouse or an unusual
it's
property,
a townhouse,
well and
if it's
septic,
a short
you could
sale,
have
if it's a
25, 30
foreclosure,
page purchase agreement.
we have 65-page documents when we're looking at foreclosure transactions. It's very common.
So, anyhow, 15 started out kind of mediocre, kind of sluggish.
It was.
But
I was a little bit taken back. I look back to this time last year. I go on a fishing trip. Sorry to steamroll it, but I go on a fishing trip every year in January. And one of our mortgage guys that works on your company, AM1280, I go with him. And I just recall being in the truck with him and how the year turned out completely different than what I thought it was going to be.
What did you think?
I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter as we were in that first quarter of the year. It was definitely sluggish. But then it picked up, and it picked up quick, and pretty soon you're in July and you're like,
holy cow.
What just happened the last 4
months?
Well,
you're hoping for the state fair just so things slow down for a week.
And they never did.
No.
Yeah, so first quarter finished out to be actually okay in terms of the previous year, but then, like he said, it really picked up and got really busy. We're busy already this time of the year. We have a lot of inquiries. We have a lot of property coming on the market. We wrote half of the 3 or 4 deals already this year in the first week. There is a lot that's going to go on. The first quarter of this year is going to go on, and it's going to be the first half of the year. I think it's going to be really strong, and then we'll get into the tail end of the election cycle. When people's attentions get kind of pushed off a little bit, you're going to have some people just kind of hunkering down and waiting, I think, for the
political rooms.
No one's going to hunker down.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. You care.
They do.
Turn your TV off.
Yeah.
So
how about you, Kelvin, then? How did you feel about 2015? We've got about a minute left in the segment.
Yeah, 2015 for us started, remember the beginning of the year, you guys were slow, but we were slammed.
Right.
Remember? We had a nice little refinance bubble that really carried us, and I was talking to the owner of our company. We were just kind of reflecting on 2015, and that really carried our year because that's unexpected business, right? So we kind of know that, hey, it might it was there, and it really set the stage on the P&L for the year. And then we got into our normal market. Refinances slowed down a little bit, but the purchase market came strong, and
it
was
came quick. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was a great year. I mean, we went over for the company. We're going to end at just under $1.4 billion in funded loans, and it's huge. It was a great year for our branch. So
record numbers.
Record numbers. So we just hope, we keep talking about let's go to 2 billion, 3, and we're kind of like, man,
how you
if
gonna
we
do
could
that?
can we stay where we're at? If we can just replace $1.5 billion in funded loans, we're all good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to hit the last segment of the first hour here just after the break. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. Hey, speaking of which, give us a call, 612-627-8000. Visit realestatechalktalk.com. Check your home value today as we head into the spring market. Yes, the spring market, realestatechalktalk.com. We'll see you right back after the break.
Get that Rack Shack attack, Rack Shack barbecue.